the hours anymore. I think it's the quality of sleep.
The recovery sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, like, me and you wear CPAPs. So I didn't mean to call us out like that.
I know that was loud. Wes is going to have to bring that up. God, dog. Now, one thing I haven't done, I haven't put my mask on and actually got some work. Have you ever put your mask on and so you just wait till after?
Yeah.
But think about that oxygen we would get if we had the mask on. And
I think I'd die. You got the whole.
I got the whole
You got
joint.
the Bane mask.
I got the Bane mask.
Yeah.
If you open your mouth, what happens?
Air just blows out.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Steak and Sauce Podcast, the baddest podcast in the land. I'm one of your hosts, Derek Nowlin. I am a household name, a.k.a. King Koopa. Don't ask me how I got that name. Just run me my check, all right? Today is a great episode. I got my brother here. Y'all seen him before. I'm not going to make no jokes about how he lifts and stuff like that. We're just going to keep it PG today. Yep. Across from me, we got Jordan Taylor. Let's give it up for Jordan being here today. Also in the building, you already know, he's behind the scenes, but he's mean. He's working, and he wanted me to let y'all know, even though he is smarter than y'all, he hopes that y'all having a good weekend and a happy 4th. We got Weston in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm excited. We're on the road to 500, y'all. Yeah. I think we are maybe 30-some subs away. So if you're watching this right now, put that burger down. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button so you can be included on all the fire content that we're dropping out. It doesn't cost you a thing. Hit that sub button for us. Listen, if you want to see me go on world tour and be smacking hoes with cakes and stuff, y'all know what y'all got to do. That's a joke, by the way. Mom, I'm sorry. All right? Look, special shout out today. We have some incredible fans that have been with us since day one. They support us. They share everything that we do, and they tune in each week. They watch the full episode, the full length. Weston, that helps us out the most, right? When they watch the whole episode. So make sure, y'all, if you can, I don't even care if you do it in segments, watch the full episode, okay? It really helps us out. And sometimes we put Easter eggs in the end, so you're not going to get everything unless you watch the full episode, all right? So we want to shout out to Embry, Cash, and Jesse. Let's give it up for them right quick. Embry, Cash, and Jesse are diehard fans of this platform. They always send me words of encouragement. They're always, anytime I'm down, they're like, hey, keep pushing. We love this show. You're a rock star. So we appreciate you guys. And we're just thankful because without people like you, this platform wouldn't be anything, all right? So we do the best we can to deliver the best content we can, the most entertaining content. You guys uphold us, you share it, you communicate with us, so we thank you a lot. All right, now, I want to bring something back I haven't done in a while. Jordan's already looking at me funny. Y'all know I haven't read some lyrics in a while. So I wanted to bring this back. When I start reading these lyrics, y'all may recognize this artist. If you're a fan, you may not. So we're just going to get into it. I want to go ahead and put a small disclaimer. This is not probably something that my granny or mom will want to hear. I get it, but we're going to run it anyway, okay? Because why, Weston? It's Steak and Sauce Podcast, baby, all right? So, slut out a freak. What y'all think about that?
Disturbing.
Disturbing, for one. I don't know why I get so much delight in reading those lyrics.
Oh, you love it.
In my head, I can just imagine him beating that hoe down. If y'all don't know by now, that is the artist known as Young Nudie, okay? And he's making some big waves out here. Shaquille O'Neal endorses him. A lot of people are vibing with him. The first song that I heard from Nudie was Extendo. Mm-hmm. Extendo. So that song had me in a chokehold for like a week, right?
Yeah.
So now that he's put out this song, right? This is called Peaches and Eggplants. All right. Now you're gonna see it.
Now, all right, I have heard this.
Okay. You're gonna see it all over TikTok, and I'm not talking about the videos we talked about last week, where these women are dancing, talking about keep that, right? We're talking about peaches and eggplants. Can I tell y'all something? I did not know that the eggplant when they put that emoji
on the iPhone,
I thought it was the opposite direction. I thought the leaf part was the base and the other part was the tip. The leaf part is the tip.
yeah,
that's weird. Why would you?
I don't know.
I don't know. Some of y'all might be shaped like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He said, I ain't
shaped like that.
Look, I didn't know that, but now we do. So y'all let us know in the comments below. Are y'all fans of Young Nudie? There's a girl on TikTok who be doing like baking and cleaning her room and just random stuff. And she's always listening to Young Nudie. And she got a little booty. So I tune into it every now and then. Now, I am getting a little bit better. Let's go ahead and do something right quick because I don't think they believe me, Weston, that I'm doing better, okay? Let's go ahead and give it 3 scrolls, okay? Pull up Instagram, okay? Now, we might have to blur this. Are we good on that camera? Okay, 3 scrolls. 1, hold up. God. 1. 2, 3. Hey,
you're doing better.
I'm doing better. There was a time in life I couldn't even open it up.
Trust me, I know. You sent me a bunch of them.
I sent you a bunch. Jordan would get flooded with them.
Yeah.
And you know what? No matter how hot the girl is, no matter what she's got going on, I always comment the same thing up under the caption. Funky bitch. Why am I like this?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out.
I don't know why you've done a lot of things.
I don't know why I've done it. Listen.
Because you funky. You a funky dude. I ain't gonna talk about the childhood stuff.
No, yeah, we ain't gonna get into no, we ain't gonna get into all that. How I used to chase y'all around.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, today, we got some current events. Now, me and you are big music fans. We share music all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of it's relatable.
Yeah,
a lot of the stuff is deep. And a lot of it goes over people's heads if they're not paying attention. So there is rumors of Drake dropping a new album, right?
Yeah.
And of course, I know you're the man to go to for this.
Yeah.
What is this album supposed to be titled?
For all the dogs.
For all the dogs. And you know what he's talking about. Hey, it ain't for y'all. It's for the dogs, okay? Yeah. Now, I feel like this is going to be the summer jam.
Oh, for sure.
It's going like every time Drake drops an album, I feel like secretly somebody's spying into my life.
And watching you
and watching me specifically,
and then giving it back to him.
Then Drake writes a whole album because I guarantee there's 4 songs I can directly relate to that's going to be on this album.
Yeah,
one of them's going to be.
You can do that about any of his
anything,
songs.
any of his songs. One of them is going to be called "You Hoes Ain't Shit."
Yeah, that's a fact though.
Right. So, for the dogs, right now, he released a newspaper.
It was like a poetry book.
A poetry book, right? And there was a picture of some dogs in the inside cover, and there was some type of scannable code, right?
Yeah.
What did that code go to?
It went to another page, and it just said, I think the quote was, they missed the old Drake, girl, don't tip me. And then at the bottom it says, for all the dogs.
Okay.
So he might be going back to his old roots, like, you know, his old flow, his old everything.
Everything.
So,
which would be really cool if Drake could tap back in. And that quote, that song lyric came off of Trophies, right?
Yeah.
They say they missed the old Drake, girl, don't tempt me, right?
Yeah.
For all you fans. So if he taps back into that, Drake was in his bag back then.
for sure.
For sure. A lot of artists develop different types of flow, different sounds, different producers. So if you, I always say this, if I was an artist, and a lot of these guys are doing it, Jeezy, Rick Ross, their catalogs are so deep, they can literally go on tour, 50 states, whatever, how many ever cities, and run it back to their first 4 albums and sell out crowds.
Oh, for sure.
Because people really love that flow, that iconic feel when they were first coming out, that rawness, the first Port of Miami, you know, different stuff like that.
And that's what people base some of these artists off of, is their their old stuff.
Old stuff.
And you hear some people, they'll be like, oh, I don't like Drake, but I like his old stuff. And it's like, you gotta move with the crowd.
You have to evolve.
You gotta evolve. And
right.
That's what he's doing. He can't just stay the old thing, because it's gonna get old eventually.
It's gonna get old.
Yeah.
Now, me and you had a conversation one time. We both felt like if you're reading this, it's too late. Should have been an album.
Yeah.
Now, somebody recently went in and put these albums in order because they tell a story.
Yeah.
So there was 5 albums, I think, that Drake linked together that, and we'll have to look up that order.
Yeah, because
but
I forgot.
it. But those albums go in a certain order to tell a story.
Title name of them.
Right.
That went together and all them. So, yeah.
And when you hear it, you're like,
yeah.
Boom, right?
Yeah.
Now, I know what y'all are saying. These big 200+ pound dudes up listening to Drake and we're light skinned. I know you're thinking it, but it's fine.
Hey, I had people be like, you listen to Drake? I'm like, yeah, why? They're like, oh, you just look like you wouldn't listen to Drake.
Why does he look like he wouldn't listen to Drake?
But
I don't know why. But listen, y'all keep y'all's comments to yourselves. We will pull up on y'all.
I will.
All right? Yeah. And that ain't what you want, okay? Now, our other brother ain't here.
We undefeated.
We're undefeated. We're undefeated in the street. Listen, this ain't what you want. If y'all don't know, like I said before, this is my brother. Yeah. If I got to make a phone call, really? Come on now. But, so we got Young Nudie. Shaq endorsed him. Killer Mike just dropped an album called Michael. It is incredible.
I haven't heard it yet.
Everybody take some time, tune into that. He's got a feature from Andre 3000 on the Scientist and the Engineer. I think that's the name of the song.
I ain't heard him on a song in a while.
Bro, you get Andre 3K, it's incredible. The whole album's incredible. Killer Mike is a businessman. He's a activist. He's a leader. He's got a lot of things going on in the city of Atlanta and all over. And I remember listening to him back in the day and be like, you know what, he's different. His music was always energetic and always kept me upbeat, especially when I was deployed overseas in Afghanistan. I listened to Killer Mike a lot. Shout out to Killer Mike. So if y'all want a fire album, check out Killer Mike's album, Michael. It's incredible. Honorable mention, though, that somebody may not listen to, one of my favorite artists is Saha the Prince. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right. Weston, you ever heard of him? Incredible.
He's been out for a while. People don't realize that.
They don't realize it, and
he was on Cruel Summer.
He was, and he's so.
That's when I first noticed who he was.
That was on the good music.
Good music, yeah.
Okay, all right. Saha is a Atlanta native. Right?
I think so.
I'm not sure. If I said that wrong, look, don't crucify me. He's so lyrical that he actually, you got to listen to his stuff twice.
Yeah.
When Drake or somebody like that drops a double entendre, you know what I'm saying? Like
you got to
Drake,
listen to it.
You got to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Drake said, you're a slave to your label, and that's why they're your master, right? You own your masters from the label, but if you can't, you get it, right?
Yeah,
stuff like that. So we wanted to get into that right quick. Drake, we don't know when it's going to drop. We know it's coming. It's for the dogs.
It's supposed to be coming soon.
It's coming soon.
Somebody went and investigated it, and they was looking at his tour dates. And usually artists don't go on tour dates unless they have an album to it.
Okay.
So them tour dates are soon. So he might be dropping it anytime.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. And
I'll be staying up too.
And you know what? Don't think that I ain't light skinned enough to drop these daggone song lyrics on social media.
On IG.
Because you know
Drake makes the best IG captions.
He does, ever.
For sure.
You know it's coming.
Everything that he says is relatable.
Yeah.
Except for when he talk about that rich people stuff. And
I don't.
And all them pastas.
In the Cavalli and Raleigh and eating. I don't know about all that. I wasn't in the
I've never even seen Turks.
I've never been to Turks and Caicos.
Nah.
Not saying we can't go, but I haven't been, Drake.
Yeah.
Drake, if you're watching this, get us out on a boat, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Bounce that shit like, whoa. Hey, part 2. Yeah. All right. So I'm glad you're here today, bro. I know we've been busy. I know you've had a lot of stuff going on. We want to get into a little bit of your story, right? A lot of people know some of the hobbies and stuff that you have. One of them in particular that you've picked up is competition weightlifting / bodybuilding, right?
Yeah.
And you've been doing this for how long?
About 7-8 years.
7-8 years, right? Now, initially when you got out of high school, you did not look like you look right now.
No.
Your frame was completely different.
I was like $165.
$165, but you were cut up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you knew you had the frame to build on, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, what made you want to go for more of the like lean, like calisthenic build to getting into bodybuilding, competition lifting?
Well, it took, after high school, it was 2012, so I really didn't start lifting until about 2015.
Okay.
But I went through a stage in my life where I was just partying and stuff, getting a little beer belly and stuff.
Which they like it.
Yeah, they do like it.
They do
but at
like
the time, I didn't like it.
Right.
And so I went to work at Volvo, and I met a dude. Well, I knew a guy that I went to high school with. We graduated together. He was like the same build as me. Got big as hell. You know what I'm saying?
He swelled up.
I looked at him and I was like, dude, that's how I want to look.
Right.
And I just started going every single day.
And fellas, I want to point this out. You have to be secure enough in yourself to look at another man and say, hey, I'd like to be like that.
Oh, for sure.
And it's perfectly okay to do that. I know a lot of guys, if I go somewhere and I'm on the elevator or something and somebody's got something good on, I'll ask them, hey, what are you wearing, bro?
Yeah.
Some of them be like, you know what I'm saying? Can't tell you. Most dudes will tell you, hey, that's that stuff, right? So, fellas, I want, especially young men, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So if you see a guy that you appreciate, you know he's putting in that type of work and stuff like that, ask him what he's doing. Ask him how he got to the point that he's at. I don't care if it's fitness, business, spiritual journey. We got to get out of this box of not wanting to talk to each other because we think it's lame.
It's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing, right? The only way that I'm going to get better is by talking to people who are smarter than me.
Yeah.
I.e. Weston. I mean, he thinks he's smart, but
But like I told you, I've been doing this for like 7-8 years.
Right.
And there's times where I go in the gym and I've been doing this longer than a lot of those cats in there.
Right.
But there's some people that I'll still go up to that's done it less than me and ask them for advice. Like, hey, what do you do differently than I do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of having that much ego holding back and be like, oh, I know more than him. It's like, no, somebody always knows more than you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know everything just because you've done it longer.
And you may be doing it wrong.
Yeah, you could be.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I was in the Army, I think that's the best shape I've ever been in because all we did was lift and
run.
Eat and run.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, back then, I was running 2 miles in about sub 12 minutes at 210 pounds.
That's good too.
And I wasn't small.
Yeah.
I got taped every PT test we had. Mm-hmm. Oh, they were like, Sergeant Allen's got to get taped. And I take my shirt off. I'm like, yeah, tape me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I knew I never made weight in the Army. I never made weight in the Army, but I was in such good shape. My body fat percentage was low. Mm-hmm. I still got taped because by the Army standards, which was based on an old crazy standard, I was overweight.
Yeah.
By the Army standards, right? And I think it's still messed up.
I think it's still like that.
It's still like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's messed up the way that they do women sometimes in the military, especially if you are a minority, because they are known to have be a little bit more voluptuous in certain areas, and the places that they tape are the places that these women are going to be the most, So y'all might need to look into that a little bit.
Because I remember when I went through the little Army thing, and I told them guys over the phone my weight and stuff, and they was like, oh, you too big. But then when I showed up, they was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't know.
I had guys in my unit, Sergeant Hahn. I probably told you about him before. Shout out to Sergeant Hahn, wherever he's at. Probably one of the biggest dudes I've ever seen, right? Had that V shape.
Yeah.
Like a 50-some inch chest. Yeah. Massive.
Crazy.
But he had a long build, which was crazy to me of how he could pack on so much muscle on a long build, right? Yeah. So he would get taped all the time. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was funny because all the girls would figure out when we was doing PT tests.
And they come in there.
Because they would come in there because they knew Sergeant Hahn was finna tape.
Yeah.
They knew Sergeant Hahn was finna get taped, bro. And like, I would always ask him stuff, and recently I saw a video, and I was going to ask you about this. They were in the park in New York. A lot of those guys, they call them bar boys or something like that. They're doing all those calisthenic workouts and stuff. The guy said every exercise is supposed to have a pause in it, right?
Yeah.
He said that for years, probably 20 years, he overtrained.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing, right? Yeah. So I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
He said he overtrained, and he was mentored by a guy that said, listen, the reason you're not growing is because you haven't took the time to even get into anatomy and physiology to learn the muscle groups because they're connected. He was like, I was training chest and arms 3 times a week, wondering why I'm not growing.
Yeah.
Because so much stuff is connected.
Yeah, so, that's a thing too.
Did you look into it? Do you do a lot of that study?
Yeah, that at the beginning though, at the journey, obviously you don't know a whole lot.
Right.
So I was going 7 days a week.
Right.
2 hours a day. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's overtraining like hell.
It is.
And then eventually, once I got older, start talking to, veterans in the game, they start teaching me stuff. Because bodybuilding and stuff, it's a lot to think about and, like, learn. Because people think, oh, I just eat healthy and go in the gym. And it's like, bro, it's not like that. You got to know how to work out your sets. You got to know how many sets to do per week, what body parts to do every week, what to eat. I mean, it's a lot to it. It ain't just let me eat chicken, rice, and broccoli and go to the gym and lift some weights.
Right, because
I wish it was like that.
because when you were talking about macros,
macros,
figuring out your calorie deficit for what you want to do, right? Because you I know personally you go through bulking phases, dirty bulk, however you want to do it, shredding phases. So you have all that, and you have to be smart. Shout out to my boy Sean Reed. Sean, I mean, Sean dials his stuff into the T. I'm talking about, he knows if he takes one more spoonful of yogurt, what that is.
Because once you get to a point of like doing it for so long, like you can just look at something and know how much it is, like calorie wise. You're like, I don't need that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy.
I do the same thing in Walmart. When I see a big old butt, I'm like, I don't need that. Right? Because I
don't say I don't need it, but
I know how many calories is in that thing. You know what I'm saying?
I can take all those calories.
Right? And here's the thing: if you look at it, and I'm like, look, what is that going to do to my life?
Nothing.
Right? I don't need. He said nothing. I don't need it. I base it upon, do I need that in my life right now? What is that going to add to me? And I look at it. If it's real heavy, and I don't need it. And I'll just leave it there. So. Overtraining, right?
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing. So for all y'all that think that you see these guys on Instagram, you don't need no sleep, you got to grind. Listen,
no,
they're gonna put you in an early grave.
Yeah, that's a lie.
That's a lie. That's a myth.
I hate when people and them influencers, they're like, "Oh, you don't need sleep. I just need 3-4 hours." It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, keep on operating like that. Okay, and I'm telling you,
you ain't even gonna have the energy to go to the gym.
No. I wish that I could. I got 7 hours of sleep last night, and I was amazed.
Yeah.
The last time I got 7 hours of sleep is probably 10 years ago.
And I don't know. I don't think it's even the hours anymore. I think it's the quality of sleep.
The recovery sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Because me and you wear CPAPs. So I didn't mean to call us out like that.
I know that was loud. Wes is gonna have to bring that up. God, dog.
But what I'm saying is, we could go put our CPAP machines on and sleep 4 to 5 hours and feel great. Because why? We're in a deeper sleep, better quality sleep. You know what I'm saying? So even some people that I know, they'll be like, "Oh, I slept 8 hours," and they wake up still tired.
Because you're not sleeping.
You're not sleeping good. You slept 8 hours, but that don't mean you're sleeping good.
I want to back up for a second how my bro just threw us both under the bus that we wear fighter jet masks. Listen, I'm not ashamed of it. And if you come over to the crib.
That fat boy mask. That's what I call it.
Listen, you're going to get that work still.
And then I'm going to put it on.
And then I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to have some good sleep. You can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Jordan said, listen, we wear Yes.
Oh, you ain't told him, have you?
No, well, I have. I've joked about it. It's in my stand-up routine.
Okay, yeah.
I always talk about, if we had a zombie apocalypse and we had a fallout, everybody's worried about beans, bullets, stuff like that. If we have a power grid situation,
we're fucked.
We're done. Yeah. Where are you going to plug your CPAP up at?
I don't know.
No. We can't be in the woods. We're done. I'm telling you. So I think it's very funny that you just nonchalantly, word of the day, just threw that in there. At least you said you too.
Yeah, I did throw you under the bus.
You didn't get me just by myself.
I could have. But I don't wear no CPAP.
I had a girl one time. She looked at me. She's like, about your neck, shoulders, your chest. She's like, you have sleep apnea.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that I did. I told her, I said, fuck you. I don't have sleep apnea. I lied.
Yeah.
I don't have sleep apnea. Yeah. She's like, I'm so sorry. Forgot about it. She wound up coming through the crib. She was like,
yeah, you got sleep apnea. Right. Look at your fighter jet mask.
Now, one thing I haven't done, I haven't put my mask on and actually got some work. Have you ever put your mask on and
no?
So you just wait till after?
Yeah.
But think about that oxygen we would get if we had the mask on and
I think I'd die.
You think you'd die?
Yeah.
I'd be trying,
because you open your mouth and that air fall. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up. Yours is different.
I got the nose.
You got the nose, okay?
You got the whole.
I got the whole.
You got
joint.
the Bane mask.
I got the Bane mask.
Yeah.
And we give it to the people. Every time I put my mask on, I turn into Bane, by the way, just to let y'all know. So you have to sleep with your mouth completely closed. If you open your mouth, what happens?
Air just blows out.
Say what?
So when I open, it's like.
Hold up. Steak and Sauce family. I did not know this.
Think about it. You got air going through your nose. Right?
How high are your pressures?
I think like 6.
They're on a pretty high level, right? Now, I want to let people know, look at Weston, as much as we're joking about this, please, if you feel that you have sleep apnea, please go get checked.
Yeah, because it takes years off your life.
It takes years off your life.
Definitely.
You're losing oxygen to your brain. Your body is doing this restart where your body will not die. It's smart enough to know when your heart rate drops to a certain level, it's going to kick and restart and wake you back up because our bodies are electricity, right? So
that's why we jerk sometimes when you're about to fall asleep.
Yes,
because your brain falls asleep and then your body's like, oh, is he dead? So they give you a little jolt.
So as much as we're having fun with this right now, we're grown men. Please. And listen, let me tell you what my doctor told me. Don't think just because we're big dudes is why we got sleep apnea. There's a lot of y'all that are skinny, y'all stink, and y'all have sleep apnea, okay? Yeah. So just because you got a little bit of body.
Us big guys, we smell better than.
I smell way better than 90% of y'all.
For sure.
And if you don't believe me, ask your girl. Sorry.
Baby mama.
Sorry.
Mama.
Please go get checked. If you feel that somebody in your family, a relative, aunt, uncle, dad, whatever, if they are struggling when they sleep, if they just sound like they're really struggling for air, please advise them to go have a sleep study, right? So the way your mask is in your nose, you know what? The pressures that are coming through. So when you open up your mouth, you're losing all that.
Yeah.
This makes sense. I just saw an ad on Instagram where they sell this tape
and that covers your
mouth closed.
But I usually don't open my mouth in the middle of the night.
Okay. So you now whenever you do,
I breathe in and out of my nose with the mask on.
That's weird.
It is, but you don't feel it.
Well,
at first when you try it out, I mean, obviously you probably, when you first put yours on, you was like, I don't know if I can do this. But
it was a lot.
But after a while, you get used to it.
I need it now.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
almost like a hit. You know what I'm saying? That cool air. Now, what I like to do, I put my distilled water in the refrigerator, get a little chill to it. Yeah, I put ice in mine. Yes, look, that's the way I like
mine
it.
Mine has a cooling setting too.
Okay, so you turn it up.
Yeah, I could turn it up.
There's nothing like that cold air coming through. And you know the crazy thing, since my mask is a full face, if I sweat during the night, my mask seal will break, right? If I turn my head a certain way, my mask seal will break.
Like an air mattress leaking out air.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Freaking out. So literally, can you hear the air coming out when you open your mouth? Or it just wakes you up?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Bro.
Yeah.
Now, why did they not fit you for a full face?
Because I breathe out of my nose when I sleep.
That's why I breathe out of my mouth. So they already knew it wasn't gonna work. Yeah. Because I just said be in there sound like a dragon all night.
Some nights when I get drunk,
you be in there.
Mouth open.
Right. Yeah. I'd come in there with the belt. Shut your damn mouth.
Yeah. Sound like an air mattress leaking. I'm telling you.
Bro, this is all right. So this is look at Wesley. He's shaking his head. This is crazy because I did not know that this was set up like that. So we talked about overtraining. We all want to put that myth to rest. You have to learn your body type. Some of the things that work for me may not work for you. We talked about intermittent fasting. We'll get into that in a second.
Diet and everything.
Diet and everything, right? I know that up under this fluff, I'm in a chuff category. And I got this from a dude on Facebook, right? He said he's chuff. He used to be buff and he got chubby, so he's chuff, right?
I ain't heard that. But I like that.
You like that?
I'm going to use that now.
I'm chuff, right?
I'm chuff.
Up under this fluff, there's power, right? Now, I know I need to start lifting weights again. The benefits of lifting weights last us throughout our whole life, right? Staying mobile, stretching, continuing to hold on to our muscle mass because you need that as you get older.
Yeah.
I want to get into what are some of the biggest myths, not only, all right, so we talked about one, overtraining. Yeah. We dispelled that
One
myth.
more thing about the overtraining.
Yeah.
An older guy that's been doing this for like 20-some years, he always told me the less is better sometimes.
Less is better.
Yeah.
You know what? We use that term a lot too, you know? So maybe more focused workouts. I see a lot of people that are doing workouts, they do them incorrectly. And the only reason I'm saying this, because one time I was at Anytime Fitness. The guy gave me a brand new pair of straps, wrist straps, because he said, out of everybody in here, bro, your technique is perfect. I was using the weight that I could actually curl successfully. Yeah. Not a back bend, not a hip push to get the weight up, no fluid motion, you know.
That's how it should be.
Bringing the pinky to the wrist, you know what I'm saying? What they call that, the head on the Bicep.
Yeah.
Show them, just show them how you get that hit. Now, do it regular, okay?
Right.
Do it regular with your hand flat.
Like this?
Yes. All right. Now, show them. Now, when you turn your pinky inward towards, you build the head on top. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There's like 3 different heads in the bicep.
Right.
Yeah.
So you try to
You
target.
got a long, short, and your brachialis like right here.
Right.
That's what creates the hump over it.
The hump.
So, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So, what are some of the other bigger myths that you can talk about as far as like bodybuilding, competition lifting? Let's talk about like some of the diet myths, like carbs, like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's such a huge thing. But I've seen guys that are really like professionals and they're like, listen, stay away from most white foods, but carbs are actually okay.
Carbs are okay.
Okay.
There's a big myth about carbs. Everybody's like, oh, if you eat carbs, you get fat. And it's like, no, because at one point when I was like really dialed into my diet, I was still consuming 300 to 400 grams of carbs and I was losing body fat every week.
Okay.
So
how much in perspective, what is 300 to 400 grams of carbs?
that's a lot of damn
That's a lot of damn carbs.
That's a lot.
It's a whole lot of ass,
Yeah.
okay? Now, if she sits around and eat pizza all day and you eat her.
Now, but if you do just eat around and eat nothing but carbs and you're not doing nothing and you're just laying on the couch, then that's when it becomes a problem.
If you're eating 300 to 400 grams of carbs,
Just sitting there.
sitting on the couch watching the hub, which I want to dial this in. Good segue. Perfect segue.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all have noticed you don't have access to the hub like y'all used to anymore.
I was pissed.
Bro, I went to get on there, bro,
I was
because
mad.
there was a little chocolate thing I wanted to see. And I was mad because they were asking for all types of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't even know how to get past that.
Right.
I really don't.
So basically what I'm telling y'all is I've been promoting this. Tasty Blacks, send me a check. You don't need to put in your license plates on Tasty Blacks. They don't need card information. I've never signed up for OnlyFans. I don't give a damn how that thing sits. I'm not paying you $20 a month to watch you flick that bean. I'm not. Not when I can go over to Tasty Blacks, XNXX, X videos. I'm plugging some for y'all that are free, right?
Twitter.
Twitter, first of all. Hold on, he's laughing. He's laughing.
As
Listen,
soon as I said he started laughing.
let me talk about this for a second. A friend of mine just put me on, right? Now, we have a Twitter account. I need to do more with it. Steak and Sauce Podcast, by the way. I did not know that Twitter was set up like this, bro.
There's porn everywhere.
Bro, I got on Twitter. I didn't like nothing because I don't want it attached to our page, all right? I made sure I didn't like nothing. But this little chocolate joint was whole live.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
It's not even just porn either. You'll see like death videos. People getting shot in the head.
Yeah, like.
I mean, it's crazy.
Crazy stuff, right? Now, there's another website that's set up like that too. What's it called? Everybody gets onto. It's like Twitter, but it's a different. I can't think of it right now.
Reddit.
What's up with Reddit, bro? Maybe I'm just old school.
I don't know. You can go look up anything on Reddit.
For real?
Yeah.
Type in anything.
You can look up girls OnlyFans without paying for it on Reddit.
Say that again.
You can look up girls OnlyFans. Certain, I'm not saying all of them.
Right.
Certain girls OnlyFans without paying for it on Reddit.
Jordan Taylor came to drop gems today.
And I've never done that.
He heard. Steak and Sauce family. He heard that you can get on Reddit and type in some of these OnlyFans girls accounts, and they may give you a backdoor, no pun intended, access to her page. There's a couple of them I won't see. You feel me? Because that thing, you know.
Maybe showing that back door on there.
Oh, I like it.
I call it a rusty balloon night.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know what? I always say this. If we can't fix this argument, you can fix it with your butthole. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
You
I
know?
ain't never heard that
You know,
in my life.
I've never heard that.
No, that's something Derek made up.
That's something I made up.
Because he be making up a lot of stuff.
But I make up a lot of stuff, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Reddit, Twitter's crazy. Jumping back.
Yeah.
What's another myth? Overtraining, carbs. What's another myth? Fats. All right, let's get into that.
So you got obviously.
And my bad. I mean to cut you off.
Good.
Weston has dropped. How much are you down now? 40 some. 60 pounds, right? In a matter in this year, about a year. And Weston dialed in all this stuff we're talking about right now. His macros, his base, his minis, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really been successful for him, weight training and cooking at home. So he knows what's going into his food and stuff like that. So shout out to Weston, by the way, for dropping 60 pounds. That's awesome.
That's dedication.
Yeah, don't take my girl, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So fats.
Yeah. So you got obviously all types of different fats out there, but majority of the healthy ones that you want to eat are like eggs, real butter, stuff like that.
Now,
extra virgin olive oil, all that, like
extra virgin.
Yeah, extra virgin.
Now, I heard something about eggs, and you may be able to dispel this rumor. I heard that 2 eggs have more cholesterol in 2 eggs than a Whopper from Burger King.
It might be true. I ain't looked into that.
Obviously, there's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. Yeah. I know eggs are a big part of your diet. I love egg whites.
Yeah.
I eat egg whites all the time.
Yeah.
With a little onion, tomato. Gosh. We need to look into this a little bit more because I know a lot of people put eggs into their diet because they are filling.
Yeah.
Easy to make. But what are some of those dangers of consuming large amounts of meat, eggs, butters?
Well, I don't know if you've seen it, but the trend right now is the carnivore diet.
Right.
And everybody's doing it. There's some people saying they're losing weight, dropping body fat by just eating red meat, eggs, raw butter, raw grass-fed milk. I mean.
Right. So maybe, I mean.
I don't know.
There's got to be. And
there's got to be something.
Is this person specific? Maybe this only works for some people, or
it could. I don't know. I don't think they've done a lot of studies on it yet, but the majority of people that have tried it have lost weight, gained muscle, and then some of these people even go to the doctor and like their levels is good. Like everything's good.
Right.
But you take a very, very, very unhealthy person,
right,
and put them on that diet, it might not work.
Right.
But who knows? I don't know.
Right.
That's something I don't know.
Here's one of the things, and I'll jump into something right quick. I wanted to talk to you also about the dangers of our T levels, and I'll get into that. Remind me for men to get our T levels checked. If you're losing your seed, that T might be a little low.
Yeah. And a lot of, we'll get on
We'll get into that. So at my weight, which I weigh more than most people think that I weigh.
Yeah.
Right? Just looking at me. I feel like this is the way I carry my weight, right? At my weight, when I was talking to Sean, we did some calculations. It was insane the amount of good calories I need to eat to lose weight.
Yeah.
People think it's crazy when you hear this. I'm on the upper scale of 3,500.
Yeah.
To lose weight.
Yeah.
Anything.
That's insane.
It's insane, bro.
Yeah.
3,500 calories of good, clean food, bro.
But that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's
right?
the goal.
So I know now that me trying to cut and cut and cut, the reason I've stayed at the same weight for so long is because I'm not hitting any of the numbers I need to hit.
Yeah.
You know? Now, if I need a certain amount of calories for my weight, how does that put me in a caloric deficit for me to be able to lose weight? I don't understand that.
So where did he base yours at? 35?
It was like 35, something like that. 3,000.
To maintain your weight or to lose it?
To lose.
Okay, so what most people do, they'll do that for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then they'll drop it by like 200 to 300 calories.
Okay.
Do that for a couple weeks. You just get your body adjusted to it.
Right.
And then after that, you get used to it, drop it a little bit more
and
more. But then you obviously want to weight train, do your cardio because it's all about calories in and calories out.
Right.
So if you're consuming 3,500 calories and you're only burning 1,000, you ain't gaining or losing nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, but if you're consuming 3,500 calories and you're burning 6,000 calories, you're losing weight.
Losing weight.
Yeah.
Right. Now, burning 6,000 calories is hell.
That's a lot.
You couldn't imagine.
But that's an example.
I literally have to move my feet in my sleep. You know
Every
what I'm saying?
day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, caloric deficit, that's 3,000 calories of good, clean food, right? And you got to think about how much food that is.
Yeah,
bro.
you can pack in a lot of food by eating clean with that.
Eating clean,
that
right?
amount of calories.
If you get hungry for a snack and you're close to your calories, fellas, at the end of the day,
Just eat, never mind.
don't eat coochie. Just tell you, tell your girl, don't call a random.
It'll stimulate your brain.
It'll stimulate your brain, create endorphins. You know what I'm saying? You can eat it and tug on it at the same time. Listen, don't call a random. And call somebody you know.
Did you know this though? I mean, I know this is off topic, but we talking about vagina here. Did you know the white stuff that come out?
Right.
You know what that's made out of, right?
No.
Protein enzymes and creatine.
What?
Yeah.
That cream?
Yeah.
Boy, I did not know that, boy.
Yeah.
That's why I like it so much.
Shut up. Yeah.
That's why I like it so much.
Yeah.
At first it was aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
You see it, you're like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not that
Get
cream.
all happy and excited.
Yeah, I get excited, girl. Not that cream out the scene. You know what I'm saying? Now I do got a gut, but it ain't enough to where I can't look down and see that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can say I call it the parking lot line. You know how the parking spaces are painted? She'll put that line on you. You know?
Oh my God.
So you're telling me that within that line is creatine
and protein.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we learn something new every day. That cream that's coming out that scene has protein. Let's say that. Yeah. That cream that's coming out of that scene
is protein.
Yeah. That's a new slogan, all right? So next time your girl gets all frothy, scoop that thing up.
That's disgusting.
Next time she gets frothy, go get you a spoon, player.
That's disgusting.
I mean, hey, listen.
But you a freak.
Yeah, I'm a little different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You are.
I kiss you on your stomach before I put it in. So, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where did you see that at?
TikTok.
Hey.
And then I Googled. And then
he rolled his eyes.
Then
TikTok is amazing.
And then I Googled it and then did some research on different reliable sources, and it came out true.
Right.
Yeah.
You ever been with a girl and she's about to release, and you in that thing? I'm talking deep as you can go. The only deeper you could go is if you literally melted and just, you know what I'm saying? And she releases and it tries to push you out. Boy, that's like trying to put your
Not
fist.
recently. It's a long time ago.
That's like trying to put your fist inside of a damn fire hydrant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can literally feel it pushing you out. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is.
I don't know why I just
Definitely
thought of that.
They do some Kegels.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I was like, it looked like Dragon Ball Z. There was light coming from behind me, and I was like, trying to stay in that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why do I love it? I don't know. Anyway, Weston's shaking his head. So it is true to get that caloric deficit, even if I have to eat that much clean food, right? What are some of the long-term effects that you know that you may be weary of because you do lift heavy? Let's talk about the competition you had last year. You entered into a powerlifting competition.
Yep.
You're not a power lifter.
No.
Let's get that straight.
I never trained for
He's never trained for powerlifting, right? He entered in a powerlifting competition.
I had like 2 weeks to train.
2 weeks to train at Dublin Fitness in Dublin, right?
Yep. Shout out to Dublin Fitness.
Shout out to Dublin Fitness, right? We need a sponsor.
For sure.
Yeah. You entered into this competition knowing that you were going up against other actual power lifters. Tell us about the competition just a little bit.
So obviously I was at the bottom of the list because my weight and stuff, but I end up coming in third place.
Third place, bro.
Bench and deadlift. But I probably could have came in second on the deadlift part because so when you get in there, you got 3 lifts.
Right.
So when you go to do your deadlift, you tell them what your starting weight is, whatever you want to do. And then after that, you go, all right, I'm going to do 600.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're like, all right, I'm going to do 620.
Yep.
After that third one, you can't go no more, even if you get it easy.
So that's it.
That's it. So you got to calculate and really know what you're doing.
Okay.
So me going in that, I didn't know. So when my third lift was 620 pounds on the deadlift, I got it easy, and it was like, fuck. And the second place person, I think he only got like 650. I definitely could have got that.
So what you're saying is your third lift, you could have went up a lot more because you know that's your last one.
When I pulled that 620 up, it felt like,
ladies and gentlemen, 620 pounds on a deadlift ain't no, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight.
And it felt light to me on that day because that adrenaline, everybody's watching you, clapping. There's girls everywhere, you know. you got to get it up. And
I'm gonna get it up. Yeah,
you're stupid. And you're so hype in there because like it's just the atmosphere. Everybody around you's cheering for you. And it's like
I'm sure
they're all dialed on just you. It ain't like a basketball game where everybody's like watching 10 different players on the court. They're watching you and only you.
And I know your pride and ego come into that too because you want to get this lift.
Yeah.
Now, did you sumo grip it or did you regular?
Like
sumo grip?
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about the ladies being in there. That adds a whole different effect to it because you want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, well, puff out my chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, after this is over.
Because when a girl walks in the gym, that's when you got an oversized shirt, you take it off, and you got a tank top underneath.
Talk about the oversized shirt thing. Who started that?
It's called a pump cover. I don't know.
Pump cover. Yeah. So why do you do now?
So you keep the pump cover on until you get a pump.
Then you take it off,
and you got a little skimpy ass tank top or something underneath.
Now, pump cover, when you said that, I thought about a whole different thing.
Yeah, because you're nasty.
All right. Now, I've seen a lot of dudes probably like shirts like we have on right now, oversized shirts, a little bit long, short. Shout out to Alex. He wears this every day, right? Now, thigh tat showing, something else going on. There was one guy, his name's, what's his name? Kai Green.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
I like him a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Kai Green, when he trains, he wears a lot of oversized stuff because he wants to focus on his workout instead of getting caught up in his look, right? Yeah. So he said he covers himself so that he makes sure that he's putting in the work and he sweats more. He's like, I have to heat up my body, right? So it's a lot of tricks to the trade, I think, is what I'm hearing from what you're going on. But it's not just a guy thing. These women wear these oversized shirts, tie them in the back. With the,
and they wear them all long to their knees, and then they take it off, and they got shorts all the way up here.
Shorts all the way up here. At Muffin's fat.
I knew he was going to say something.
It's got a slug, and she bends over. It's got that little trail going in there.
I'm talking about they little.
Ain't nothing better than a big old thick chick with big old thighs and a little old muffin on her. I'm talking about maybe an inch and a half.
And she's doing a little hip thruster. Yeah.
Dirty big.
I just be like, how much you weigh? She's like 150, and I get under it, and I'm like, I'm just playing. How
much you weigh? 150? Set all that down on this thing. Yeah. I want it all. I don't care if he smother me. I wear a mask at night.
Yeah. So the pump cover, that's a thing.
Okay. Pump cover. Now, I want to jump back into us as men getting our 2 more sections, us getting our T levels tested, right? Now, real quick, before we get into that, go over your 3 lifts. What were the weights on those that you entered out with to get 3rd place?
They only did 2.
2, right?
So we did bench and deadlift.
Your bench was 420. 420. Very, very respectable. And the deadlift. That got you 3rd place. Do you have another competition coming up?
No.
Okay.
I probably won't do another one because lifting heavy does hurt me.
Right.
And it might hurt other people. That's like, look at Ronnie Coleman. I mean, he lifted for so long, so heavy.
I idolized him in high school.
Yeah. And now he's just messed up.
Now, is that coming from his heavy lifting or other stuff?
It could be a mixture of both.
Mixture of both.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. I'm not saying it broke my heart. Lord, forgive me. When I saw Ronnie on Instagram and he had the walkers, I was like, what happened, bro? Because like you take a man that's, I think Ronnie's 5'10".
Yeah,
in real life.
He's real short.
Right.
He's not tall.
He's not. Now, when you look at him,
when
you think
when you see him
towering.
on stage, like his old pictures, he looks tall.
He looks very tall.
Yeah.
But I could see why he looked. I mean, now that I think about it, 5'10" with that type of build.
That's massive.
I've never seen anybody.
Like
I know
300 pounds.
Yeah. I love Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
I love some of these guys. I haven't seen them do some of the extreme weights that I've seen Ronnie do. Ronnie literally taping up his knees and having 1,000-some pounds on the leg press. Lightweight. And he's freaking, you know.
Did you hear the story where he was squatting 800?
No.
And his vertebrae popped out of place or some shit like that? And he didn't know. So he continued his workout, went home, got dressed because he was a cop.
Yes.
He got in his uniform, was driving, and that's when it hit him. And he was like, I got to go to the hospital. Went to the hospital like 5 hours later.
The weight compression of 800 pounds.
And he kept lifting after that.
Centered in on his spine.
And he continued to live. That's the crazy part about it.
Right. Slipped a vertebrae out of line, right? Which could have pinched on his spinal cord, which could have done a whole lot of
shit.
Crazy stuff. He continued to lift, went home, put a police uniform on that had to be specially ordered, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right?
He had to wear shorts.
Had to wear, there's no way he's getting in a pair of pants.
No.
Can you imagine getting pulled over by him?
I'd be scared.
Yeah.
I'd have to shoot his ass.
You got to, that big. You can't let him grab you. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ronnie Coleman. Shout out to some of these legends. You were a huge part in mine and I'm sure your childhood
for sure.
of wanting to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Just that motivation.
But that lifting heavy stuff I don't do no more because I am getting older.
Yes.
I'm not old, but I'm getting older.
I'm getting older.
And it was bad on my joints. It did hurt after a while. Like you go home and you're like, damn. Yeah.
There's a guy that I follow, and he was a bigger guy that had a weight transformation from being like a big stocky guy to like a big cut mobile guy. Everything that I see from men that are a little bit bigger to lose weight, they always try to implement heavy lifting somewhere in there. How do you feel about heavy lifting assisting weight loss?
That's probably the best way to do it, honestly.
Okay.
I'm not saying lifting heavy is bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just for me personally, it hurts.
Right.
But you burn more calories by lifting heavier.
Right.
So
that's another one of those myth things that I was talking about.
Because you just think about using more energy.
More energy, right?
To pick up a heavy ass weight. Like
I know that I'm strong, but I haven't tested any of those
strength.
By full strength.
Yeah.
Right. Even at the age that I'm at now, I feel like I'm still very strong, but I want to be a different type of strong. I want to be the type of strong I was in the military where shoot, move, communicate. Like if I got to get out here, me and you had to get out here and run to Christiansburg.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to shoot when I'm tired and be able to pull myself. What if we had to jump up and pull ourselves up onto something? Yeah. That, like that 800-pound bench press ain't gonna help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how I always think in life.
You always think
I'm always trying to be ready for something.
I'm ready.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I learned how to swim. You taught me how to swim. Actually.
I did. Yeah.
You threw me in the damn pool and I didn't know how to fucking swim.
I did. I threw you.
Fucking dickhead. I didn't have a life jacket on or nothing. He was just like.
Hey, Jordan's body was as wide as this phone when he was little.
I was small.
Jordan was so small. You know what's funny? Look at what the group of my apps is called.
It would be that.
It would be that, right? Yeah. So before we dive into our next segment, getting our T levels tested. Me and you talked about this. Obviously, fellas, we're talking about testosterone. It is very essential that we know where our levels are at, right? Yeah, especially as we approach 40, as we get older, right? You got your T levels tested.
All the time.
All the time. There was something that made you feel like I need to go get them tested, right? And what was the advice that they gave that you can assist your T levels? Naturally.
Better diet, more sleep.
Right.
A lot of those things dial into that. Vitamins.
Right.
Water. I mean, keep processed food out, fast food, all that.
Right.
It does lower your test. Even simple down to the body wash that we use.
Lowers our test.
Yes.
So what body wash?
That I don't know all of them.
I don't know.
I try to stay plant-based or, you know, something that's really healthy for you.
I use the Castile. Is that how you say it? The that type of soap with all the writing on it or whatever. Yeah. I think I use way more than I should because I doused my wash rag. Shout out to people that know what a wash rag is. And I have the one I use. The one I use for my face, bro, I didn't know it was that like concentrated.
Yeah.
Bro, my whole face foamed up. I had it in my eyes. I'm in the shower screaming. There's nobody there.
And I can hear this. Because you be screaming.
I'm punching the shower curtain, like it was bad.
Yeah.
So down to the body wash that we use as men can lower our T levels.
Yeah, but your doctor's not going to tell you that.
Right. Because it's all part of a gimmick. They're trying to mess with our hormones in men from the food. Yeah. We already know it's doing to kids.
But fast food is probably the biggest problem right now.
Fast food.
Yeah.
Right? If I could cut out burgers and the hub, I'm a new man.
You can make burgers at home.
Yeah.
That's why.
And they're healthier.
Back to the carnivore diet. That's why a lot of people are going to grass-fed beef.
Right.
And grass-fed butter because it's all healthy. You know what I'm saying? It's
now, can we get that kind of stuff around here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just got to find it at local farms and stuff.
Gotcha. We always joke about red meat.
Yeah.
Right? And the effects of red meat.
And the pH balance.
The pH balance. Do you believe that red meat takes as long as what they say for us to digest it?
No.
and move through our system? You think that's a myth?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Right. Now, the reason
this is
I
just
say
my
that,
opinion.
right, we have 20-some feet of small intestine, right? They were saying that the red meat, by the time it passes through and gets to our colon, right, that's where the buildup is at, that it rots. So as we go through these 20-some feet of small intestine, that red meat would essentially rot before it got to where we could fully.
I don't believe that.
Right.
That's just my opinion because
Right.
we have acid in our stomach that breaks everything down that we eat.
Right. Now,
So-
how do you feel about these people that get these colonics and stuff like that, and they remove 20 pounds of waste from their bodies? Worms and don't eat a lot of pork.
Yeah, I do not
Jordan
eat
does
pork
not
at
eat
all.
pork. Do not listen. That whole you need breakfast biscuits and stuff like that. Listen, that was created in America to help out the farmers. All right. Stay away from the pork. Keep the pork off your fork.
Yeah.
If you can.
And
now.
chitlins. That's
And
disgusting.
don't be eating
That's
crazy
slave food.
No, yes, we're past that.
Yeah.
We are not.
That's what they fed the slaves and
Yeah,
stuff.
that we had to make do, right?
Yeah, that's
we are
disgusting.
not doing that no more.
That's shit too.
Shit too, yeah.
I mean-
you want to eat chitlins? Go home and tell your girl get on the bed.
Yeah.
You want to eat chitlins? If you want to eat chitlins, go home and tell your girl toot that thing up for me.
I'd rather do that.
I'd much
eat
rather
some
do
pig
that.
ass.
Yeah.
Because they be cleaning them and
Yes,
like poop
they
come
put it
out.
there and they shoot
that's
through and then they
disgusting.
fry
I'd
'em
rather
up.
just go home and eat some butt.
There's people in my family that eat chitlins. Our family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Shout
rather
out
just,
to y'all.
I'd just rather eat some butt.
Yeah, I just rather, because I know if I eat some butt,
But she got to hit that dial soap on it, the antibacterial soap. She got to have some antibacterial soap.
I'm stuck between the dial soap and a good 8 hours on that thing.
See, he's nasty.
You know what I'm saying?
He's nasty.
Now, I ain't talking about 8 hours of booting and shooting. I'm talking about just a regular,
Just sitting there.
just a regular 8 at your
And
desk.
I bet it stinks.
Not stinks. I think it's just a little bit of sweat on that thing. You know what I'm saying? And I
A
don't
little
like
sodium.
I don't like to be facing it. I like to stand beside them and go over the top
Lord Jesus.
where you're,
Something's wrong with him. He shouldn't even be doing this podcast. This would be like a sexual podcast.
who let this man out? You know what I'm saying? Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Right?
They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. So I like to go over the top and kind of spread it and get it from the top because then you can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're nasty. Something's wrong.
If she's real nasty, you give her your hand.
I'm not waiting 8 hours. No,
Right.
she's not gonna sit around 8 hours. She's going. I'm gonna do that right after the shower.
Now, that is a right after the shower thing. But sometimes when they bring the groceries, I'm going to say it like that. When they bring the groceries home, it's time to eat the groceries, okay? Now, it all depends on the level of which you like your food,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a steak.
Some like it medium rare. Shout out to LT. Some of them like it medium rare. Some of them like it well done.
Yeah,
Some of them like it different ways.
You don't discriminate on none of them.
Listen, the only problem I'm discriminating on is if you got other suitors and you got other people that's getting in that box, I need to know.
Yeah.
That changes the way we're going to engage.
Yeah.
If you got other dudes jamming and blamming, I'm not eating that.
Yeah.
That's
But
slop.
girls don't know how to be honest.
No.
We'll get.
We'll get into all that. Y'all motherfuckers lie.
And
Boy,
it's
y'all
like
lie.
if you just come over and
Yeah.
we already know what the deal is,
Yes.
you can tell me.
We're skipping.
You can be like, hey, yeah, I messed with a dude a week ago.
Right. Or last night.
Yeah.
Listen, if you come over and I know you got other dudes and whatever you got going on, listen, unless you lied about it, I'm not going to give you, you know how you go to a car wash and they give you different levels?
Yeah.
You're getting the $10.
Yeah.
You're not getting the Supreme rinse gloss wax because now I'm putting my face in territories I don't need to.
Yeah.
If you got other men, you come over.
Definitely if they hitting raw too.
I'm putting the Jimmy hat on. We might not even kiss.
Yeah.
I'm just going to burn that thing up and you got to go. Now, if you're with me and we're locked in, once you locked in, ain't no switching up. Then it's different. Then I might do some extra shit, but we'll get into that. So what we can take away from this, we dispelled some myths, getting your T levels tested,
Yep.
finding out what works for you. Obviously, Weston has himself dialed in. He's smart enough to figure all that stuff out, right? He cooks his chicken with no grease, right? Pretty much, right? So he cooks his chicken, how he cuts it up, weighs it, does the same thing y'all doing. I had a funny idea. Randomly, I was driving one day, and I thought about you in your kitchen throwing back some pre-workout, and it was way too much, and you're like coughing and
That's
all
happened before.
and you're like,
yeah. That's happened with pre-workout.
Pre-workout, yeah. That pre-workout.
I didn't have a shaker one day, and I just dumped that
You
back.
just threw it back?
Yeah, and it choked me up. It was coming out and shit.
Every time you coughed, it's like
I
dust,
had to hurry
dust.
up and get water and chug.
Oh, man. See, how did I think about that? And that actually happened to you. That's crazy.
It happened to me.
Man, that's crazy. So, when you're doing all that, matter of fact, where are we at on time? About an hour. Okay. We'll do about 10 more minutes. We can dive into this last part. We wanted to switch gears a little bit. Me and you talk a lot. We wanted to talk about issues in relationships. I've got a couple categories. We'll go through them pretty quick. Some of these, I always say this. I joke a lot. That's just my nature.
Yeah.
We learn from failure.
For sure.
We learn from things we didn't do properly. Some things have been identified to us from somebody else that we didn't understand how we operate. And we're obviously talking about a monogamous relationship, marriage, whatever it is, right? Communication.
It's a big thing.
Huge.
Yeah, it's
right? probably the biggest, right?
Biggest, yeah.
Couple things I've learned. How to communicate depending on the type of partner that you have.
Yeah.
And I want to say this right quick. A lot of people may see a man that wants to communicate with you, wants to talk to you. That man is not weak.
No.
He's not light-skinned. He's not all these things y'all try to associate with it.
Mama's boy.
Mama's boy, none of that.
Yeah.
You've dealt with some idiots that don't know how to articulate themselves, and now you have somebody that wants to talk to you. You know what? You wonder why these people are trying to reach you is because they care.
Yeah.
About the situation, and they're looking like, hey, I want us to last. I need to figure out what's going on because the biggest fear of mine is dialing it in with somebody for 20 years. We got a family. We're invested. You have the rights to half of what I've built, and now you wake up and tell me that this shit ain't working.
Yeah.
You could have told me that 10 years ago.
Yep.
When you thought about it.
Yeah.
We'll get into that, right?
Yeah.
So, but honestly, communication, right?
Yeah. And understanding your other partner.
Right. Their communication style, because childhood stuff comes into this.
Yeah.
If that kid was always fearful of speaking up or being able, and maybe their parents didn't give them
We're still kids inside.
We are.
Yeah.
I have a picture of me on my refrigerator, and it brings tears to my eyes sometimes. I'm right beside Morgan, and I look at this young, overweight, I'm still overweight, but I look at this young man.
Yeah.
And I tell him every day when I go to my fridge and I get some water, I grab my lunch, I say, Derek, I got you. Because I understand now that man, he's still in here.
Yeah.
A lot of things I've done is because that part of me was crying out.
Yeah.
Right? I keep that picture on my fridge to remind myself that I've got me. Right? At that age, I didn't have the fortitude, I didn't have the gumption, I didn't have whatever you want to call it, the respect for myself to get me to a certain level. Yeah. But now when I look back at that picture, I'm like, damn, Derek, you really do have you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm protecting that guy because like you said, he's still in there.
Yeah.
I figured out from experience, asking somebody if they're in the space to talk to you is huge instead of just dropping it off.
Yeah.
People have different thresholds of communication that they can control, right? Some people think it's bogus, but some people do. They have a cap. And I had to learn, you can't just not unload in a negative way, but give too much. Yeah. Because the cap, they'll reach it and then they're trying to process everything. Other people will sit down, let's talk for an hour, whatever it takes, right? Some people, that's too much. What are some of the ways that you think that you've been kind of negative with communication and things that you've done positive?
With communication, I think sometimes we all get stuck in our own ways.
Yes.
So, and like I said too, it's about understanding your other partner too, because you know how like we're like, damn, she's so difficult to deal with,
right?
But we didn't get the time to sit there and communicate with them and sit there and be like, all right, this is who she is, this is what she does, this is what makes her mad, this is what ticks her off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't sit back and like really dial that in and be like, okay, You know what I'm saying? Right. Instead of we ignore them, we're just like, oh, she's fucking tripping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we don't want to communicate because we're already mad to that point where
right.
we got this ego thing. We're like, I'm right, she's wrong.
Right.
But at the end of the day, y'all were not, it's not you versus them. It's you and the problem. You know what I'm saying?
You and that person versus the problem.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us, we
right.
focus it in on just them too.
Right. Being right only helps one person.
Yeah.
It feeds your ego. The other person goes to bed still feeling empty.
Yeah.
Being right is not going to help the relationship, right? Me and you versus the problem. I like that you said that. Also, here's another thing. Somebody has to give you the space to be transparent and to be open with them and not hold it against you.
Yeah.
Young men, I know society's telling you, be tough. Don't talk about your problems. I'm not saying bring everything to your woman, but you definitely need to find a space. To me, when I read a lot of these books I'm reading, a man, and you probably saw this quote, a man is supposed to be able to inflict extreme levels of violence if he needs to, but harness it to be nurturing and be welcoming enough to take care of his family. Yeah. So we need to be able to protect them at all costs, but also have a soft side to where you understand when your 16-year-old daughter breaks curfew that you're not going to just flip out, right? Yeah. You got to be understanding that, hey, my wife, this baby's keeping us up, but I deal better with a lack of sleep than she does. She's just not a morning person. She can't go without 8 hours. I can.
Yeah.
This whole 50-50 thing, that's false.
It's false.
What it breaks down to is day by day, you're going to have different levels of energy. You're going to have different levels, thresholds. One day you're going to come in and you're going to be able to work a full shift and clean the whole house and make dinner.
Yeah.
You're feeling great.
Yeah.
Your girl comes in, wife, whatever. She's like, oh, man, I've had a rough day. Don't worry about it. I got us, right?
Yeah.
Don't make small things become a big picture. That's what my mom said. If we both come in and we worked, who cares if we don't cook tonight? We'll get something. Don't make that a thing.
Yeah.
The next day, you're exhausted. You don't even feel like doing anything. You've had a bad day. You just want to sit with yourself. That day, your energy level's low. The next day, maybe she's up here.
Yeah.
She comes in, hits that load of laundry, orders a pizza, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's that day to day.
And if both of y'all are not feeling it, both get in there and pitch in and do it together.
Do it together, right?
And just get it over with.
I'm the type of man that I don't have a traditional way in my household of doing things. I cook, clean, take out the trash. I enjoy having my space neat. To some women, they're like, ugh. But women that appreciate that, they know that they're not going to have to come in and pick up after me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because women, y'all have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Women have a lot to do. And the last thing my mom told me, the last thing that women want to do is come up and pick up your blue jeans you took off in the middle of the floor and you're sitting on the couch in your drawers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody wants to do that.
Scratching them.
You know what I'm saying? Then she comes in like, look at you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you over here like.
You know what I'm saying? You know, take care of yourselves, man.
Yeah.
So, but we talked about communication, how to communicate effectively. I want, and I don't mean to, can we go to like an hour 20? I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but some of the things that I've tried from my therapist, journaling.
Yeah.
Get a book.
Even notes.
Notes on my phone. Structure out the conversation you want to have with bullet points so you're not all over the place, right? Kind of like we do for this show. It's like a typewriter. Me and you'll be talking, and then we'll push it back, right? Yeah. Get a book, get something. Write down your feelings. Leave it in a neutral place. When they have time, they come get it. They read, and you've had time to articulate your feelings. When they have time, they respond to you. You have time, you read it,
I never tried
you
that.
respond back.
Yeah.
Now, what that does is it allows you to communicate with your person without pressure,
emotions.
Without emotion.
Because I get that now. Because like if I come to you and I could probably say it in a different attitude and you're going to take it a different way sometimes.
Right.
Maybe. You might look at it like he's being a fucking dick. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Instead of me trying to be genuine and being like, hey, this is really how I feel.
Right. You know what else it does? One thing that makes me mad and grinds my gears is when I'm talking to somebody and they roll their eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know who else this get. Right. Yeah. When I'm being open and vulnerable and transparent, if you're like,
I'll stop talking.
I will. I'll stop talking and I will shut because it's disrespectful to me. Most people are watching this. That might not affect y'all. Y'all like, Derek, that's stupid. I'm just being honest. when I'm talking to someone and they roll their eyes, it's not even a relationship thing.
Yeah.
It can be man to man.
Yeah.
I shut down, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I need to work on. Writing in a journal allows you to get your feelings out, stay on topic, because you know when we're engaged in a situation, if me and you got an argument, the argument's going to change based upon how we respond to each other.
Yeah.
We might have an argument right now about you backed out of the parking lot and you hit my car.
Yeah.
Right? That may turn into a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're getting off topic. So in the argument, journaling allows you to get your feelings out and kind of stay on topic. They can respond in a neutral place when they have time, and they don't have to worry about you rolling your eyes at them, dismissing them. I'll call that dismissing somebody, right? Body language, nonverbal stuff is big for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like journaling allows people to have the space to communicate with their partner without the face-to-face, because I feel like within that conversation, it brings up so many other things, especially if y'all don't communicate well. You've been harboring stuff. That's when the shit's going to come out.
Yeah, shit comes out.
That's when the shit comes out. You know what I'm saying? Hey, last week.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you
or
say
last
it then?
year you did this.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we can keep up with each other. As our days are going, we're also progressing because we're keeping in contact with each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to do it.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just one that I've tried. There's a lot of things that men are very reluctant to do, and we can talk about this because we are in fear of what society deems as being an alpha male or this or that. I don't care what woman comes to me and she says, oh, you need to be this. If you want to put my boots on, you can.
Yeah.
You can. I'm not here to fight against. I will not fight against another person to try to prove my worth as a man to them based upon whatever idea they have of what a man should be.
Yeah. Facts.
We've had talks about this. I am 100% okay with what I deem as being masculine in my life. That may be completely separate from you.
Yeah.
We may do things a lot alike, and there's things that we won't. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you're less masculine than me. Or my voice ain't as deep as yours. I can't grow a full beard. Yeah. Does that make me less masculine? Society would say that, but it's a personal thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's one method of communication, and don't allow somebody to actually critique. Or now, if you're a man and the grass is 4 feet high, if you physically can't do it, see if somebody can take care of it. But if the woman comes home and the grass is 4 feet high and you're sitting there scratching your balls, yes, I feel like she has the ability to tell you, man, go do that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm not saying, but not knowing the person is the next bullet point that I had on here. A lot of people get into situations and they don't know who that other person is. No. This is why you have to have these conversations. Childhood stuff. What type of home were you raised in? Yeah. That affects.
And those conversations should be when y'all first get together. Yeah.
What type of respect level do you have for your parents? How were you allowed to communicate with your parents when you were a kid is going to be very detriment of how they communicate as an adult. Yeah. My mom, and we had a safe space. She getting your ass, but we definitely we had a safe space. I was allowed to talk. Yeah. I was allowed to tell her what type of day I was having. I was allowed to do certain things. Childhood trauma, beliefs. Yeah. Y'all may have different beliefs as far as religion, holidays, things that you don't think about that are going to be big, especially with our family. We like to get together at certain times. Yeah. If that's overwhelming or anxiety producing for your partner, that's a conversation y'all got to have, because when you get with somebody, y'all are supposed to create y'all's own traditions, but you do have to spend a little bit of time with each other's families. So if they're not a family person and they don't want to do that, you might want to figure that out, right? Standards, the type of standards y'all have for your lifestyle, work ethic, how the house should be taken care of. Identify those roles and how does that look for you so that I can understand, right? Yeah. There are people that don't do laundry but once a month. That's cool. I'm not one of those people because it drives me crazy to let stuff pile up. Yeah, for sure. But for other people, that might be 100% okay. Yeah. Jumping into the old school where they talk about shacking up. I'm not talking about shacking up, but I definitely think you should spend time at each other's place. And I've said this before to learn how that person operates around their things, how they do things, and to see, is this a day-to-day thing that y'all can do together, right? How do you feel about what we're talking about right now, like not knowing a person?
I feel like too, like, you should just watch them and how they talk to their family or
Right.
friends or best friends and see what they gossip about or
facts.
you know what I'm saying? And see how they operate on those lines too.
Because they're going to talk about you.
They're going to talk about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she's like, girl, did you hear about Randy? I heard he pisses on his balls. You're next.
If you do something, you're next.
You're next, bro. Just know that you're next. Okay.
So yeah, that too. I would just watch out for that.
Right.
And like you said, just communication, talking.
Right.
And throw out there like before, hey, I don't like, if I'm like in a serious relationship, I don't like my woman going out to the bar.
Right.
Or I don't like, this and that.
Right.
But doesn't mean you can't do it.
Right.
It's not a controlling thing.
It's not a control thing. It just means that I think it's great to have girls' night. I think it's great to have girls' trips and stuff like that. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to be very transparent right now. I have struggled with trust issues. I have struggled with communication. I've struggled with certain insecurities, and that we all have, right? Because you have to grow. You have to learn certain things. People can either, and I'm saying the work is done within, but your partner can either help you grow, give you the space to grow, or they can continue to stunt that growth, right? Opening up to somebody and doing that is very, very difficult. And for the times that I haven't been the best representation of myself to people, not in just relationships, but to you, to family, to men, whoever, I apologize here. The reason I'm able to do that today is because of the type of talks we have. Accountability is the next thing I'm getting into. That's why I'm saying that, right? Sometimes accountability, when somebody puts that on your plate, we get defensive because it's making you take ownership of something that you've done. Every action has a reaction. And a lot of times as men, we put ourselves in these situations because of something that we've done, and it doesn't feel the same until it's done to us. Right? Weston, would you agree? You can't understand the level of pain. I had somebody tell me a couple months ago that they have literally sat back and watched me live my life, date, travel, do everything, and I never accepted them or picked them. That was rough.
Yeah.
Because here I am living my life, and there's somebody else that cares, and I'll get into this in a second, somebody else that cares about you a lot, and they're watching you maneuver and do all these things, and they're just waiting for you to say, hey, roll with me.
Yeah.
But you're caught up on some other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That's tough. Accountability, what does that mean to you?
A lot, because I'll say here, like, not my whole life, because, obviously we have stuff that we've all went through, that we've learned stuff from. I didn't take accountability for the longest time in some of my relationships, not even just like girlfriend, wife, talking about friends, family, anybody. Yeah. And there was some times where I was like, I'm not in the wrong, he's in the wrong. Right. And I didn't look at anything that I was doing wrong at the time because I thought that I was right. But then when you start really look back at it, you're like, okay, I did this wrong, and this is probably why they reacted to this situation. Right. And it's like, okay, now I can take some accountability and reflect. Right. And be like, okay, some of this is my fault. This ain't all just whoever else's fault. This is my fault. Right. So now I understand why we got to a certain situation or a certain point. And it is hurtful. It hurts too. It hurts when you take accountability. Because there's a lot of people to this day that I can't speak to, or we don't speak because of something I did. Yeah. Right? I've made peace with it. What Kevin Gates say? I'll release you in love. Yeah. I've made peace with it. I've prayed about it. I've asked for forgiveness. You know how hard I am on myself. So it's always going to be like an inward thing. We're all hard on ourselves. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't say just me. We all are. Accountability is something that is in marriages, a person's mindset in a relationship. I also learned this. Just because your partner has a bad day or they're irritated or something like that does not mean that I did something wrong. That is a trauma response. Yeah. Because I'm checking in with the person. Hey, is everything good? Because I think something shifted. Are you okay? Yeah. Did I do something wrong? Yeah. And I have to work through that and get out of that, right? Yeah. Because that's something that has happened before and I'm still holding on to it. Just because I've had a bad experience or something has gone a certain type of way does not mean I should change my heart in any type of way. It's a lesson. I got to smarten up and look for the signs, but I shouldn't change my heart because the next person that comes into my life deserves the best version
of me.
Yeah.
Right? I deserve the best version of me to myself.
Yeah, for sure.
First. Obviously, we all fall short of that. Mm-hmm. I'm not cooking my chicken in no grease.
Yeah.
Should I be? Yes.
And make yourself happy.
You make yourself happy, right? And you know what? The other night, I took a drive just by myself, cranked the music that I like to listen to, with some country in there or something, and I drove forever.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that.
Yes.
It's like a reset.
Reset. I drove and I had fun. And I said, Derek, you really need to start dialing in life because we all have a lot going on right now. We're all trying to reach certain levels. I'm taking on new stuff. I'm trying new stuff. Everything that I'm doing right now is for me.
Yeah.
Right? A person's mindset, we can battle against that sometimes. Mm-hmm. You can't change a person's mindset.
No.
If they feel that, hey, this is the way I'm going to be, I don't feel like I have to change, you know what I'm saying? That can be a very, very difficult situation.
And it's funny you said it because I was just talking to a friend the other day about certain people. Like, you can't change other people either. So, like, somebody did something wrong to this person, and they were like, well, why would they do that to me? I wouldn't do that to them. I'm like, yeah, but not everybody's going to be
like you. Right.
So
I wouldn't do that to them.
So I think expectations a lot in relationships is what messes up a lot.
Expectations, that's another.
Yeah.
I expect that thing. No, I'm joking.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, expectations are huge.
Because we'll expect somebody to treat us or do a certain thing and not backstab us on a certain situation, but doesn't mean they're not going to just because you believe that.
Right. And it doesn't mean that you or me or Weston or any woman or man is any less worthy because somebody doesn't treat you right.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with you. That's their accountability.
Yeah.
Just because somebody doesn't handle, we talked about this, Weston, somebody mishandles you. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
I've mishandled people.
Yeah.
That's my accountability.
Yeah.
But somebody mishandles me, not my fault.
Yeah.
You're going to live your life the way you want to. It doesn't matter who's in the room or where you're at. I say this all the time as men. There's women we can think about that can literally go to China for 3 years, and we know when they come back, everything's straight.
Yeah.
There's other people, I don't see you going to Sharky's.
Yeah.
Because you wild.
Or Riley's.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I mean, you got
come back home.
She was eating some wings and sending some pings.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it. I was gonna say it, but I'm not. I ain't gonna say it. But look.
And another thing too, in a relationship, we can get on that one too if you want to. But watching somebody when they're unhappy.
Good segue.
You know what I'm saying?
We have a short video.
See how
me and Jordan both have watched this.
And just see how people react when they're unhappy, because when you're unhappy or something,
grab those,
something happens in that situation, certain people react a different way.
Right. Ooh, look, that's crispy.
Yes, sir.
And this guy hit on me, right? So he said, hey, you married? And I was like, yes. And he said, you happy? And I was like, no, I am. And the reason why I said no was because, one, I'm brutally honest, and two, I was not happy at the time. But what does me being unhappy have to do with whether or not you have a shot? Here's the thing I realized. A lot of married people don't know how to be unhappily married and still not walk away. If you could learn how to be unhappy for a minute, your marriage will last. Because the goal in marriage is not happiness. The goal is to build a lasting relationship that withstands the ebbs and flows of marriage, of relationships.
Don DeMarco.
Don DeMarco, go.
Where's the applause? Someone finally said it. No one gives a damn about your happiness. It's about making it work.
Hey, that's real. Don DeMarco. Look, if you know battle rap, you already know the reference.
Yeah.
Let's get into that for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think we are in a time period. My rest in peace to my grandfather and my granny.
Yeah, I was gonna.
My granddad loved my granny to the very fiber of his being. Regardless of how sharp she could be, how edgy she could be, the ups and downs that they had in their marriage of 50-some years, that wasn't glitz and glamour. No. That was grit. And I'm not waiting for one of y'all to make some, well, that was back in the day before they had social media. No. I'm talking about to the essence of their marriage. That was not fun at times.
Yeah. Because the old generation, that's what I was going to bring up. The older generation, they realized that.
Right.
just not everything in y'all's relationship's always going to be 100% happiness. And I think a lot of people get caught up in that and they're like, well, I should be happy all the time with you. And we shouldn't be going through this. And if we really loved each other, it wouldn't be a certain way. It's like, no, it's not how it works.
It's not how it works, because my mom told me love changes.
Yeah.
Love changes
People
as we
change.
grow. People change. I'm not going to be the same person in a couple years at 40 that I am right now. I hope not. Right. Yeah. If you're watching this, your woman is going to be a different woman at 35 than she was at 28, right?
For sure.
100%. Love changes. So love goes from this young, vibrant, as we get older. Now it becomes about understanding, companionship, taking care of the other person, having that partner that's there. Being unhappy is okay.
Yeah.
We are so used to getting unhappy, and it's not usually that person. If we put expectations, if we think that other person's supposed to tap dance and make us feel good all the time and bust that thing and do whatever, you're going to get unhappy very quickly when something shifts or something changes. Like she said, yes, I'm brutally honest. I'm unhappily married right now, but that doesn't mean I'm going to let you smell it.
Yeah.
That just means she realized I am unhappy. But that doesn't mean that just because you make me happy for a moment, you come with your own bag of shit.
Yeah.
That she doesn't even know. He's looking for a moment.
Yeah.
She's looking for longevity.
A lifetime.
So I think we've all been guilty of being in situations where we've been unhappy.
Yeah.
And instead of looking inward, we look outward.
Yeah. And I've always been there.
Right.
I'm starting to realize it now that, I'm going through life again and going through different journeys. But I was like that. If I was unhappy in a certain situation, I'd be like, I'm leaving.
Right. And not even looking. A couple years ago, I was living in Charlotte 5 years ago, and I read this thing that says, wherever you go, there you are. What I took from that is, if you don't work on yourself, people are constantly running to a new city, new place. And I'm not talking about expanding or putting yourself in a better position, 100%. But sometimes we can try to change things, and the work we need to do is inward, because wherever you go, there you are, right? And like you said, being unhappy, being in a moment that can change, a lot of people don't want to go through that. Yeah. The first sign that the water gets a little bit murky, they're bailing on you, bro, because somebody else made them laugh.
And then they want to go and find that missing piece at that time in another person.
Right. And they don't know that they're going to have to fill pieces to them too.
Yeah.
You got pieces that you haven't filled, right? So just because this next person is a little bit easier to talk to, you know what I'm saying? That thing got a little more tang on it. She makes you laugh. Yeah. She makes you feel good about yourself. She supports you.
It's always going to be like that at the beginning.
Always in the beginning. Y'all haven't even hit the rough parts yet.
And then you get into a routine with like you and your old partner.
Yes.
And
so
then
you
it's back
continue
to the
this
same
cycle.
thing.
I want to be there on the rough days. I want to see what you're like when you get upset with me and you enter into my space and you bow up. Yeah. I want to see what it's like when you're having stressful times at work or school or whatever you're going through, so that we can talk through those things. Yeah. Because we're going to face a lot of unhappy moments. And if people are just along for the good moments, and as soon as you're not fulfilled anymore, you're dropping people off, you're always going to be dropping people off.
Yeah, always.
Because like you said, my happiness, what makes me happy is my job.
Yeah. And it's not your partner's job to do
It's not
that.
my partner's job to make me happy, right? I'm supposed to fill myself so that I can pour into other people.
Yep.
My problem is I pour into people sometimes and I'm pouring stuff I don't have.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to realize that. How we looking on time? Oh, shoot. Okay. So, dude, got to have you back.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, we can talk about so much stuff. We're thankful for being here today. We're going to cut it a little bit short. I want to end with this. Fellas, and we can speak because this is Men's Mental Health Month. Was it last month or this month?
It was this month.
This month. If you are having issues with mental health, I know it's July 1st today. Thank you for bringing it up. Please reach out to somebody. Yeah. I can tell you personally, without Weston, Jordan, Jalen, Kiera, Alex, Jacob, Nick, all these people, Preston, DJ, all these people have been through here for me for the last year and a half. I was not in the best spot. Literally being able to talk, go sit on somebody's couch, have a meal with them, literally put me in a better space mentally until I was ready to deal with myself.
Yeah.
I love you guys. And so what I'm saying is mental health awareness, making sure that you're checking in with yourself. And if you don't feel okay, if it's too heavy, reach out to somebody that you trust. Please, please, please do that, because we've all been in very, very dark spots before. And look at how much you'd be giving up, or how much stuff would have changed if you decided to allow those things to outweigh your ability to fight. Every day we're fighting. Every day we're taking another step in the right direction. And if you can get enough energy to take one more step each day, you're always going to go in the right direction. So keep fighting, because we're all going through stuff, okay? This is the baddest podcast in the land. You're going to get a little bit of everything on here. We're going to be honest. You're going to learn where protein comes from. You're going to learn a whole lot of things, okay? I'm thankful for having Jordan here today. We're thankful for Weston. Please send a prayer out to Antonio and Preston. They weren't able to be here today, but, we love them. We miss them. Also, please continue to subscribe. Please continue to share this. We appreciate y'all's support. We thank God for being here today and him blessing us in our creativity and allowing us to build this platform. And until next time, y'all be blessed.